Welcome everyone to another CTC software webinar. My name is Chris Bircher, Director of Technical Services here at CTC, and today we are going to be covering what tools from the CTC product line will support workflows within the Autodesk Construction Cloud / BIM 360 environments and workflows, and kind of show you how that works, how to get it set up, and make things happen. Before we begin, I want to encourage everyone to ask questions using the questions panel within the GoToWebinar toolbar that you should have. I will be monitoring those and will answer those as I see fit throughout the webinar. Anything that I don't get to, I will make sure to answer at the end. If you are watching the recording on YouTube later, please use the comments to ask your questions. We monitor those as well, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. With that said, let's get going. So as you guys all know, the Autodesk Construction Cloud is quite quickly becoming the go-to way to collaborate with your Revit projects. And no more are we trying to, as much sending files, via some type of FTP transmittally type of deal. We're just collaborating in the cloud using the Construction Cloud or BIM 360, whatever kind of variation you're working with. And we've been working diligently to make sure that as many of our apps as possible will tie into the models stored up in the cloud. And today we're going to go ahead and cover that for you and show you everything that it is. So I'm going to show you how to set it up, how to connect your CTC products with your Construction Cloud or BIM 360 environment. We're going to show you how certain aspects can be used and where it applies, and take you through the whole process. And just so that you guys all know, when I'm doing my demo today, we're going to be focusing on 4 products: Import Link Manager from the BIM Manager Suite, Schedule XL from the BIM Project Suite, and then Family Loader and Plotter and Exporter, both from the BIM Batch Suite. And all 4 of these apps are contained within the CTC BIM Suites installer. So if you don't have a copy yet, or you're running an outdated version, when you download from our website, you will get a BIM Suites installer. It has all of our products, all of our Revit related products in it, with the exception of the Hive package, and you will have access to everything, at least in a trial format at that point. So let's get going. Let me just start walking you through everything and show you how this is going to work. So just get to my web page here, over here. There we go. All right, now the first thing we need to do to make sure that this process will work for you. So for those of you that already have our tools installed, and you've got somewhere in the 2024 product line, this is going to work beautifully for you. If you're running older versions, I strongly suggest upgrading to at least 24 something. The latest version out there for the BIM Suites is 24.3. You'll log into your Autodesk Construction Cloud account or your BIM 360 account. You need to be the account administrator to do this for your BIM 360 or an Autodesk Hub. If you are not the admin, you need to go find the person that is and ask them to set this up, or let them know about this and direct them to the recording, which will be on YouTube here shortly. So I'm in my Construction Cloud now in the new revamped version. Once I've logged in, we go to apps, and from the apps page, you'll get to the gallery, and you just scroll down until you find the CTC software ACC connector. That's what we've called it. It's just an icon. It's a button here. You'll click on it, and I'll show that in a second. From the good old BIM 360 admin page, very similar. Once you've logged in, you go to apps here at the top, and it just brings you there. It's the same looking icon, it's the same button. You scroll down, you find CTC software, ACC connector, it's there. Good to go. From either place, you can do this and it's gonna work for you. So back from the ACC page, you click on the button and it's gonna bring you to our little landing page here, and you click activate. When you click activate, you're gonna get a message, and there may be additional messaging that you need to do, and it's gonna basically let you know what is being accessed so things can connect. There's not a lot here. We're just looking to be able to read the Revit data. We're not worried about project information or anything like that, or transmittals or issues or any other commentary or correspondence that is up there. And that's it. You're done. If you want to look around, there's some tooltips up here. There's links to some of our website and videos and stuff like that, and some information for you up here. And then from the BIM 360 side, it's done. Once I've done that, I can hit refresh, and it will now show up under my apps as being active. So you do it in one place, it's good everywhere. You don't have to register and activate it in both locations. Once that's done, now you could start establishing that connection inside of your Revit projects with the CTC tools. So I'm going to first start, since I've got my productivity tab open, I'm going to start over here with BIM Batch Suite and everyone's favorite in Plotter and Exporter. So I'm going to launch Plotter and Exporter first. And this function, so with Plotter Exporter, to do a batch exporting of my PDFs or sending prints to the print plotter or exports to CAD, Navis, FBX, you name it, I first need to set my configurations up, right? So I've got a configuration set up here. I've got it loaded. This process, the connection with BIM 360 and ACC, happens via the scheduler. If you're not using any sort of scheduling, you can still run jobs on your BIM 360 and ACC models if the file's open, right? You can open up any cloud project, which is exactly what I have here, and you can hit run now. And it's gonna take whatever settings you've configured, and it's gonna do it right there on the spot. It's gonna lock up Revit, just like any other print and export job would do, and kick out the files that you told it to kick out. For the true tie-in and the true benefit of this, we built it into the scheduling aspect. So by going to the scheduler here, I can create a task or a job, and I'm going to call it Office Arc Project. You could specify a time and a regular occurrence for this. I'm going to add the config file that I have loaded up, which is back here. And this one. And then we get a new button. So if you haven't seen this yet, we actually, in the newer builds, we have a new button down here to add your BIM 360 or ACC files. Previously, all you had was the add files button here. You go find whatever's on your computer or on your network, you print that. Now we can load up directly from BIM 360. And had you never done this before, just gonna force this, you would be prompted with a login window, which is, of course, popping up on my other monitor. Let me do this. It's hiding behind my PowerPoint. Sorry about that. Okay, let's. There we go. Now I got it. And you get this little window here. You click login, and you just use your Autodesk credentials. It's going to fire up on a website. You log in with your normal credentials like you would always, and hit allow, and you're done. Nothing to it. So I'm going to minimize that, and then you'll get access to all of the projects that you are a part of. Now, obviously, this list will vary depending on the user that's trying to access this. I've been invited to a handful of projects over the years, and so I've got a number of things showing up. So this is my hub. So I'm going to come down here and grab my project that I'm working with. So come down here, find the Revit files that I want to work with. And, I'm not limited to just the one file. If this particular set of configurations for the exports to PDF and DWG and Navis applies to more than one project or more than one file, grab them. You can assign this to as many Revit files as it makes sense, and it's going to sequentially hit them in the order that they are listed. So, and you can go ahead and pick multiples from here at the same time. It's going to add them all. And let me just go grab a different file here from the 2022 project. There we go. Hit OK. Adds them both to my list. And now, on my regularly scheduled basis here, if I said every weekday, or I'm sorry, weekly on, Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. is when I like to run mine, so that when I get to work Thursday morning, I can review everything and make sure it's kosher before I submit. And not Sundays, just Wednesdays. So when I hit OK, tomorrow morning when I come into the office, I'll have everything good to go. Or I suppose that would have been today. Next week when I come in. And that's it. That's all you got to do. So it's really slick. It's a very small piece that gets you access to your Autodesk cloud models right out of the gate, which is great. And that's all with Plotter Exporter here. Very simple. Family Loader is the next one I'm going to show you. We'll stick with the batch suite. Family Loader, also rather simple, pretty easy to do as well. This tool, for those of you that don't know what it does, is it batch loads families into projects, whether it's a project, multiple projects, or current project. And you can specify any family, any amount of families to load. Really good if when a new project starts, if you need to, you got a healthcare project and I know I need these families loaded in. You batch load those families into your healthcare project. Or maybe you made some changes and in your templates and you need those families loaded into a bunch of projects. Those families, if they're saved to the network somewhere, you can use Family Loader to batch load those into as many projects as you want. And if you're working with cloud projects, the way it works is you'll be able to add from various locations. So for the projects, I can add projects from BIM 360. And again, I'll get prompted with a login had I not done so already. And you pick the files that you want to load things into. And then come down here, I pick the families I want to load. So I can hit add families, go find what I want, or I can load in a particular set of settings because the thought here is that it would be a repeatable process, right? So I'm constantly loading the same families into the same projects when those types of projects arise. And if those benefit now is if these projects live on BIM 360 or ACC, you can load up as many as you need to at any given time. And you can do it to multiple projects at once. It doesn't have to be just one project. You can have as many in the list as you see fit, and it'll work. And then you get your override options down here. Yeah, that's all. That's about everything there. There's not a whole lot to Family Loader. It's loading of families. It's just a matter of where the projects live, really, and where the families live. So, but that's the easy part about it. It's a clear button. Go ahead and click that button. You'll be good to go. All right, switching it up a little bit. I'm going to jump over to the CTC Management tab, to the BIM Manager Suite, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the Import and Link Manager feature for BIM 360 ACC. Now, Import Link Manager, as it's loading up here, its purpose is to help you visualize and manage all of the imported and linked files for your project. And whether it's AutoCAD file, Revit file, image file, it's all going to be present here. And we get some additional controls built into this. So if I need to change what work set something is found on, or make sure it's pinned or unpinned, or a room bounding, or maybe the file path's changed and I need to reload from, I can do these actions here. I don't have to close and check another location to see if it's on the right work set. I don't have to check properties. I don't have to select it and look for a pin, or look in the ribbon for the pin if work sets is enabled. I can do it all from one single location, which is fantastic. So here I'm seeing everything with this particular file. I can start to break it down and look at all links or just the imports, Revit versus CAD. So in this case, I want to go ahead and start fixing up some of the issues that I've got here. This particular file that I've got open is in the Autodesk Construction Cloud. I need to make sure that my link files are loading from there as well. And to do that, you select the file in question. And when you do your swap reload here, you get an option to swap reload from BIM 360. Once again, you'll be prompted to log in if you haven't. And you go find your project and excuse me, find the file that you're looking for. So I'm looking for my electrical model. Here's my electrical model. Select it, hit OK. It's going to go ahead and reload it on the spot. And when I close this window, I'll have my electrical model nice and loaded up, and I can go ahead and sync to Central, and we're happy. It also will tell you the path type here. So where that's nice and where this is handy is if we just started a project and now we're pushing it to the cloud to collaborate with someone, or we received files and we're restoring an archive for phase 2 of a project, or for a previously used customer, here they are. So when you open that file, it'll tell you if it's a cloud hosted or not, and if it's not, now you go ahead and make them source from the cloud projects. And that's it, really. There's another feature here with Import Link Manager that I just want to point out where things will work as well, and that is in the right-click menu. So when you when you have the BIM Manager Suite installed, you have a right-click feature called Manage Revit Project Links. And what that is, effectively, is it's a import link manager that can run without Revit being open. And it looks a little like this. So I just happened to click a file that was just on my desktop. And we have the ability to check to see if anything's linked into it and load files from a particular folder or load from other locations. And we can check, make sure all my CAD drawings are linked up and good to go here. So I can actually check links without even opening Revit or opening that particular project. It's all just done via the right-click menu. So just wanted to point that out there. And maybe it's more along the lines of just to give you a good idea of what is currently in that file. Maybe that's an indicator that you're opening the wrong one. But you could do some link management from there if you wanted to. All right. Last but not least is Schedule Excel from the BIM Project Suite. So Schedule Excel is the tool that allows us to import, well, I shouldn't say import, allows us to link an Excel drawing or Excel file into a schedule view or into a drafting view and match up the data in those views and the appearance, right? So oftentimes I do a material ID list in Excel because I'm not modeling everything in Revit, or I don't have materials applied to everything in Revit, but I still need to have that as part of my document set. So a MAT ID list or additional code calculations that you get run in Excel frequently, or any sort of mechanical or electrical schedules. Oftentimes we have some data in there that is hard to format inside of Revit or tricky at times pictures, what have you. So this is a good way to bring that information in. This feature also will work if files are stored not in a traditional server-based location, right? So the key here with Schedule Excel is making sure that everyone has access to the files so that they can also update them, because we do have this auto update feature. Now, specifically, we have the ability here to work with files that are stored via the desktop connector or any other type of shareable drive space like OneDrive or Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever the other ones may be. And it's just as simple as making sure that your Excel file that you're working with is saved there. So for example, if I open up a spreadsheet, and this will be a spreadsheet that I did in the previous webinar, like so. Here we go. I've got my code analysis spreadsheet here, and I have a page that I like to bring in on all my projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and save this to my project on the desktop connector here. So I'm in 2023, so I'm going to go ahead and save it here. All right, good, excellent. So now it's there, and then I'm going to come back into Schedule Excel and I'm going to load it up. I'm going to add this. I'm going to go ahead and hit open, and I'm going to go find it in the exact same way I saved it, right? Just Autodesk Docs, and let's go get that schedule. Here it is. Here's the tab that I want to bring in, the code review plan sheet setup. I have a couple others in here that potentially could be useful, but for the moment, this is the one I want to bring in. I've got some additional graphic options I can manipulate. I kind of like matching what I have in Excel. I spent a lot of time on that, so I'm going to preserve everything. One view or one table, not multiple, one schedule. View templates are available if you want them. Let's see here. Text titles, all the good stuff. I'm just going to leave it alone and bring in, well, let's, yeah. No, I'll do it this way. And I'm going to make the interior grid super thin and the border also super thin. So why not? We'll do that. The option down here to do scheduler drafting view is there. You hit OK. You load it in. And really, so there's no button that says load from BIM 360, load from whatever location. It's just add the file. And because it's not a Revit file that I'm actively loading in, it's a document, those are accessed via desktop connector. Now my project team members, if they're not, if I'm at home and they're also at home or in the office, they will be able to open up their projects and see that I just linked up this schedule view or this Excel file, and if they'll see the file. They will also have access to it if they have the same version of desktop connector that I have, or we've all shared the same Dropbox or OneDrive folders with each other. That all should work out beautifully. And then if the files need to change, we can change them. There'll be some that say out of date, and you'll just run a refresh. As long as those files still exist in the locations, you'll be able to go ahead and refresh those. I know for a fact that these files no longer exist because I deleted them personally. So I broke the link, which is why it says it's out of date. You can break the link, still show the files in your Revit projects, and it effectively just turns kind of into a kind of like a dumb import at that point. No more link. So, but that is everything. That's how it's all set up to work, right? As long as you have an account admin around to set up the project or to set up the service for you on BIM 360. Where did that go? Here. Here, as soon as it's all set and good to go, plotter exporter, family loader, import link manager, and schedule Excel, well, those three will start working with you. Schedule Excel should just work already. You don't need the button for that. As long as everyone on the team is using the same products and has access to the same set of folders, they've synced up the projects. Desktop connector is a little odd. If you're not on the same version as others, you have some weird issues. So we just recommend everyone be on the same version of desktop connector for using with Schedule Excel. Yeah, and that takes care of it. That sums it up. Shows you everything that we've got regarding our CTC tools and working with ACC and BIM 360. We've got a couple of enhancements coming out in a few weeks when 25 drops. So we'll be talking about those in the new features webinar when that happens. And before I let you guys go, oh, I didn't want to click that. I just wanted to point out that everything that I alluded to or did discuss, there's videos on YouTube, all accessible either just by searching here on YouTube or by clicking the videos button inside of the individual apps themselves. They're all set up and current, so you should be able to get information about the workflows and how they also interface with your construction cloud or BIM 360 hubs. If you need a copy of a trial, come to our website and go to our products page for the particular product you're looking for. Fill out a quick little form and you'll get access to a download link in the trial for 14 days. And then if you've got any questions on anything, let us know. info@ctcsoftware.com, and we'll be more than happy to assist and answer any questions that we can. Let's see, and that takes care of it. That's everything I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I appreciate y'all. It's been a pleasure. If there's anything I can do for you, please let us know. And thank you all. We'll see you next time at the next webinar.